Hey everybody, it's me, Joe, and I want to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to tell you 3 stories, and you're going to have to find some grammar mistakes. Okay? So I've found 3 very interesting stories, but inside the stories I have put 5 grammar mistakes in each one. So I want you to listen carefully and try to find them, and if you do, write down the mistakes that you hear down below. At the end of each story, I will tell you what they are, so you might have to pause if you don't want me to give away the answers. Also, in this video, you're going to see 2 secret codes. When you see them, I want you to send me a message on Instagram at Teacher Joe Crossman. Then I'll know that you are a great student and I should help you more. Okay? All right. Finally, at the end, there'll be a couple of questions for those who just want a listening exercise. All right, here we go. The story takes place in a small town in South Carolina in the year 1915. Essie Dunbar was a resident there, and she was 30 years old. Unfortunately, she had a seizure and she died. A doctor checking her over and pronounced her dead, so a funeral and burial were arranged for the next day. The time of the funeral was to be 11 a.m. so her sister could attend from a neighboring town. The next day, 3 ministers spoke at a funeral and burial, but Essie's sister was late. They believed she wasn't coming, so they put the coffin in the ground and started filling in the grave. Then Essie's sister arrived and demanded to see her sister one lastly time. They agreed to dig her up and open the casket. When they did, Essie sat up and smiled at her sister. Everyone was terrible at first, and for the rest of Essie's days, she was viewed with suspicion of being a ghost or a zombie. She lived another 47 years. All right, did you hear the grammar mistakes? There were 5 grammar mistakes in there. And you can pause the video now because I'm going to tell you the answers. So the first grammar mistake was the first sentence. I said, this story take place. It should be this story takes place. Okay? Or you could put it in the past and said this story took place. The next one was about the doctor. I said a doctor checking her over and pronounced her dead should be a doctor checked her over, past tense. The next one was 3 ministers spoke at a funeral. Should be 3 ministers spoke at the funeral. There's only one funeral in this story, the funeral. Next one, her sister wanted to see her sister one lastly time. No, should be one last time. And the 5th one was everyone was terrible at first. It should be everyone was terrified at first. All right. And if you've made it this far, fantastic. Here is the first secret code. It is back from the dead. Ooh, so send that to me in a message on Instagram and I'll know you've at least listened to the first story. Here's story number 2. This story happened in the town of Zulling in Lower Bavaria, which is part at Germany. I don't know exactly when this happened, but the story is about a church. Next to the church in Zulling, there are 2 black spots in the grass under the window. The legend is that long ago a robber stole from the church and killed the pastor. After him crimes, he fled through a window, and when his feet touched the grass, he was hit by a bolt of lightning and killed. To this day, nothing grows on the spots where his foots hit the ground. All right, so there's 5 mistakes there. Did you get them? The first one was, which is part at Germany, should be part of Germany. The next one, 2 black spots in the grass under the window, should be under a window. All right? There's no particular window. There's not just one window in this church, a window. The next one is after him crimes, should be after his crimes. The fourth one was, you got to listen carefully. I said bolt of lighting, and it should be bolt of lightning, right? Lighting just means lights. Lightning is the stuff that happens from the sky, the electricity. And the fifth mistake was the spots where his foots hit the ground, the spots where his feet hit the ground. Okay? And you're doing great. You've made it this far. I want you to keep going. But here is the second clue. All right? This is the not clue, second code word. And the second code, secret code is don't do it. All right? So send that to me on Instagram. Here is our third and final story, and it's the longest one. See if you can hear these grammar mistakes. Here we go. This final story comes from the village of Dumbarton in northern Scotland. There is a place called Overtoun House, and it is next by a ravine with a stream, and there is a bridge built over the ravine. This was built in 1895. The strange thing about this bridge is that dogs jump off this bridge with a high rate of frequency, either hurting themselves or dying. The drop down to the bottom is 50 feet or about 15 meters. Dozens of dogs have died because of this, so the bridge is nicknamed Dog Suicide Bridge. Some people don't put their dogs on leashes, and there are very bad consequential. One example is about a dog named Cassie in 2014. The owner took Cassie out for a walk, and because Cassie is such a well-behaved dog, she wasn't put on a leash. Cassie's owner parked her car near the bridge. Cassie got out, then seemed to staring at something above the bridge, and then she jumped and died. Some people think it is the smell of small animals, such like mice, mink, and martins that live in the ravine, but other people think something more supernatural is happening at Overtoun Bridge. All right, that's the long story. There's 5 mistakes. Did you catch them? Here are the answers. All right, so at the beginning I said Overtoun House, and it is next by a ravine. It should be just next to a ravine. The next one I said dozens of dogs have dead, should be have died. The third one I said there are very bad consequential, and that's wrong. It should be very bad consequences. Number 4, Cassie got out, then seemed to staring at something, should be stare at something. Seemed to stare at something. And mistake number 5, I said the smell of small animals such like mice, mink, and martins should be such as mice, mink, and martins. Such as. All right. So I hope you found all of those grammar mistakes. If you didn't, listen again. See if you can find them. And here are some 3 quick listening questions for you guys that have gone all the way to the end. All right. So, for example, the first one, how old was Essie when she died the first time? What part of Germany is the church in? And how far is the drop off the bridge in meters? Okay, so if you put your guesses down below, I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. All right, and if there's any questions about any of the vocabulary, just ask me down below and I will answer you just like if we were in the same classroom. All right, I put lots of little tricky words in there that you might not know, and I want you to learn. All right, let me move to the middle. All right, and what I'm going to do, if you want to continue studying and hear more of my lovely voice, me, check out my beard, all right, anything like that, I'm putting up links here, and you can check out other videos and keep on learning, because that's the most important thing. I want you to improve your English. All right, that's it. I'll see you later.